Tonight we are spending the night in a traditional British hotel right in the middle of the Thailand countryside. Let's check in.
Questionable fish and chips, afternoon tea, and a fully British-themed hotel room all awaited us on one of the best driving roads in northern Thailand. But before that interesting take on my nation's cuisine, our journey officially started in our home away from home in this region's biggest city.
Hello and welcome back to another day in Thailand, where you join me from the streets of Chiang Mai up in the north of the country. But today, in a sense, we're going to be leaving Thailand behind to go in search of a little slice of home. I've heard that just half an hour drive from the city, there is a proper British-themed hotel where we're going to be spending the night. So it's time to hit the road, go and see a few sights and check out just how British this place really is.
We had been living in Thailand for around 5 months by this point, and whilst I don't really get homesick, I still couldn't resist checking out this strangely familiar spot just 20 kilometers from where we were staying. We had already found a traditional British pub on Koh Phangan, which was surreal enough, but this place promised to be a whole other level of Britishness.
My driver for the weekend?
To find our little Britain, we followed the ring road out of the city and joined up with the Samoeng Loop, a famous 100-kilometer circuit around the mountains starting and ending in Chiang Mai, making it a very popular weekend road trip and an easy escape from city life. The roads are smooth and the views aren't bad either.
I love Chiang Mai city for so many different reasons, but one of the best things about it is how close it is to places like this. Just beautiful nature, such a short drive away.
And of course, being such a well-trodden route, there is no shortage of roadside attractions and unique places to take a break from the driving. You can grab an iced coffee inside an old steam train, you can have a stroll around one of the many picturesque gardens, or even enjoy a bite to eat literally in the river, which was actually a great way to cool down.
Fresh.
But our first main stop of the trip was at one of the newer landmarks in the area, sitting high above us on the hillside.
Right then, we are on the road, on the loop, heading towards a place called Ban Pong. But as you can see, the weather today is starting to look, well, a little bit British. It's a bit grey, a bit overcast, and it's almost definitely gonna rain. So very much in keeping with today's video. And we do have a few tenuously British-themed stops to make on this trip. But first of all, we're gonna start things off with something that is quintessentially Thai. Right then, let's see if the guard dogs will let us past. Sawadee krap. He's not interested. So at the bottom of the hill here is Ban Pong Temple, which is a really lovely, peaceful place in its own right. It's got some really lovely gardens and buildings. But then out the back is actually a secret exit to another temple that is right on the top of the hill. All there is to do now is climb up these steps and it should be a pretty amazing view from the top. So let's do it. I know I called these steps a secret exit, but there is one sign down there in the temple to point you in the right direction. And actually, this British weather is a little bit of a blessing because it's nice and cool. And I'm already out of breath. Oh.
It turns out there was actually quite a climb to get up to the peak, and despite that slightly cooler weather, the humidity still started to take its toll.
Sweaty Betty over here.
Last bit of the climb now. This is definitely the steepest bit. And from the bottom we could see that there was some scaffolding on the temple. So just fingers crossed we can get inside. And this has been worth it. Right then, we're at the top. And this is definitely a bit of a building site. Doesn't seem like there's anyone here working on it today. It is Saturday, but it's still pretty impressive.
It turns out that this temple has actually been a work in progress for over 10 years. And taking a closer look at the works going on gives you a good idea as to why.
So as you can see here on the way up to the temple itself, they're very much in the process of decorating still. They're adding these sort of reflective mirror gems to the dragons that guard the temple. And I think they're still going to paint it white as well.
Which would be very much in keeping with the main, mostly completed section, which shines brightly across the landscape even on the cloudiest days.
So we've made it to the very top of the steps, and it might be unfinished, but this place is really, really impressive. Sure, it's a bit of a building site at the moment, but what it still has is this incredible view, almost all the way around. Looking down onto the villages below, the hills, the mountains. Gorgeous. It's well worth it just for this, just to see this view. Well, you can tell this is a brand new temple because it's got an automatic sliding door to get inside.
Never seen that before.
No, me either.
Whoa. That is way too modern.
So this model is obviously what it's going to look like when it's finished. And from this, it looks like they're almost there. It's probably about 80-90% done. So this temple is actually very, very close to where we're staying at the British Hotel tonight. But before we get there is another stop that I want to check out that is sort of along a British theming. So let's hit the road again and take a look. Just fingers crossed that it's open.
Much of the landscape of northern Thailand is made up of dense green jungle and farmland, so it's not uncommon to drive past stunning rice fields and find many different fruits growing along the roadside. But this next stop took us a little further off-piste.
So our search for something tenuously British on the way to our British hotel has brought us out here to this really beautiful spot. Now, the place we're looking for is supposed to be up this road, but to be honest, I haven't got high hopes because it's not really on Google Maps and there's no signs from the road, so let's just see. Well, guys, unfortunately, this part of the mission has not been a success. What this behind me is supposed to be is a strawberry farm. And back in the UK, you can come to places and pick strawberries for yourself and just pay by the weight. And that's exactly what you used to be able to do here. Now, I'm not sure if this place is closed for good or maybe it's just closed for the season. Maybe it's not strawberry season at the moment. But either way, we're not going to be picking strawberries on this mission. So that's a little bit of a shame. But anyway, just around the corner is the British Hotel that we've been aiming for. So I guess we should go and see it.
And we would get to try a British-style strawberry product in that hotel in just a few hours' time. So finally, the road continued into the village of Bang Pong, a quiet place home to a famous international school, as well as a building that feels even more out of place.
Well, as you can see, this area around us now definitely looks like the countryside of northern Thailand, but just around the corner is a place that's gonna make you feel like you've been transported thousands of miles away.
When you live in a foreign land, there are times when you start to think of home. Maybe you miss certain foods, certain places. But luckily for us Brits here in Thailand, there is a spot that can transport you right back to the familiar pastures of a green and pleasant land.
Well, guys, this is it. This is a little corner of Britain in the Thailand countryside. I'm currently standing outside of the Hillsborough Hotel, which is honestly one of the more surreal places I've seen in Thailand. It honestly looks like somebody's taken a traditional British country house or B&B and plonked it right here, just outside of Chiang Mai.
The Hillsborough Country House feels like you've stepped right into a Beatrix Potter novel, or at least some version of that. The best way to describe the experience here is that it's like a Disney Epcot version of a British B&B. Some of the theming is a little bit off, but some of it is pretty spot on.
Well, it wouldn't be a British themed hotel without a live, love, laugh sign.
The hotel is set inside some lovely manicured gardens complete with water features and roses. There's even a small swimming pool available for guests. But inside, the theming gets even more intense.
This reception area is like a museum of Britishness. Look at all the little trinkets everywhere, on the fireplace and on the tabletops. Surreal.
So it was time to check into our room for the night, which was a surprisingly big space and looked like something straight out of a Cath Kidston catalogue.
Okay then, welcome to our traditional British hotel room. And you know what, this really does remind me of places that I've stayed in the UK, like those traditional quaint B&B rooms, and it's all thanks to the decorations in here. You've even got a Bakewell tea towel here up on the wall, so that's proper British. There are 3 main buildings here at the hotel, and we're staying in the middle one, the main one, which is called Beatrix. And downstairs, you've got the main reception area and lobby, and there's a little lounge down there too. And you can also find the grandma's kitchen on that level, which is where we're going to have our full English breakfast tomorrow morning. But right now, let me show you around our room, which is up on the 1st floor. So when you walk through the door, you come straight into this main living area. And here you've got a sofa and a few chairs right in front of this fake fireplace, which is complete with some Christmas decorations. And it's May, by the way, so they're still up. Behind the sofa, you've got the really nice double bed. And you know what? The biggest giveaway in this room that this isn't in the UK is that swan that they've made out of the towels. You would never, ever get that in a British hotel. So that is typically Thai. So if we move over to the other side of the room, you've got the bathroom, and in here you've got your toilet, you've got a lovely freestanding bath next to the sink, and there's a standing shower as well. And again, the only giveaway that this is a Thai bathroom is the bum gun. And then just on from that, you've got another turning here on the left, and there's a dressing table or desk there, right next to the mini bar and fridge. So that is our room here at the Hillsborough Hotel. So I guess we should talk about prices. This room cost us £60 per night, and that is the cheapest room in the hotel, and that rate also includes our full English breakfast tomorrow morning. Now, speaking of food, I'm actually getting a little bit hungry right now, and there is one more place in this hotel that I haven't showed you yet, and it's the perfect spot to go and get some traditional British food.
Hidden in the gardens are some other very cool features of this hotel. You can find a little Peak District themed cottage where you can also spend the night, but the most popular spot for passing road trippers is the Hillsborough Cafe. This place is open to the public and serves a wide range of foods from Thai to British, all inside a classic tea room setting. So to fit in with that theming, we decided to order a few home comforts and see how the Thai versions stacked up to the real thing.
Well, you can't come to a traditional British cafe and not order a traditional afternoon tea. And look at this, it looks pretty good. You've got biscuits on the bottom, you've got traditional scones with cream and jam in the middle, and then a delicious looking chocolate cake at the top there. And of course, it's all paired with a lovely cup of Yorkshire tea. No milk, but it's fine.
Oh, that was loud.
Emma, you know what I'm going to ask you now, don't you? Is it cream first or jam first on a scone?
I can't remember what I normally do. I think I do cream. Yeah, I do cream.
Cream first, jam on top.
Yeah, I do cream.
That's what I do.
But all was not what it first seemed.
Wait, is this butter? It smells like butter.
Is it?
It's definitely butter. Maybe it was cream.
Let's try a scone with butter and jam then. Cheers. That's so dense. It's almost like a biscuit. So it's super dry. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm missing the cream.
And because we're pretty hungry, we've also ordered another British classic. It's fish and chips. So this has come as 4 long strips of fish, not quite sure what fish it is, with crinkle cut fries, and not lemon, but lime. So that's interesting. And of course some tartar sauce as well, so let's give it a go. I'm going in with my hands, you know. You know what? That's not bad. Pretty tasty. Tartar sauce is good.
Yeah, it is.
That evening we popped back to Thailand for a few drinks in the village and woke up the next morning to tuck into a classic staple of a British diet.
Good morning and welcome back to another day in the Hillsborough Hotel. And last night we actually slept really, really well thanks to this super comfy bed. But now it's time to head downstairs and try Grandma's full English breakfast.
That's right, it was time for our final British meal of the trip in another very elaborately themed room.
Okay, to round things off then, let's do a quick full English breakfast review, and I'm actually quite impressed by it. It basically had most of the elements that you'd expect from an English breakfast, apart from the things that I also expected to be replaced by Thai equivalents. So I didn't expect there to be proper sausages on that plate. It was always going to be those Frankfurter hot dog sausages that you always get here in Thailand. But other than that, you had a hash brown, which I like. But there's also bacon, there was baked beans, there was mushrooms, tomato, and some fried eggs as well. So I actually really enjoyed it, and there was also a really nice buffet spread down there in Grandma's kitchen. They had all sorts of cereals, pastries, there was toast, a selection of teas, and you could help yourself to some coffee as well. And that's it really, that concludes our time here at probably the most British hotel that you could find here in Thailand. So I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm already having the time of my life.
Next time we take a trip even further north to explore the artistic mountain city of Chiang Mai.